Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday program at Great Vow Zen Monastery. I hope you're all doing well this fine day. Welcome to online practitioners. Nice to have you with us in this way. This morning at the monastery, we'll be having a novice priest ordination ceremony for Bushin Noriko Makita, who's been a resident here for the past few years, and that's a very auspicious occasion, and we're all very excited to support her in this gateway. First, we'll do regular chanting service, and then short zazen, and then we'll launch into the ceremony. Let's all rise now to prepare for 3 bows. Page 8. Heart of great perfect wisdom, clearly saw that all 5 aggregates are empty, not relieved all suffering. Hari Budra form does not differ. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form itself is emptiness. emptiness. There is no form, no sensation, no perception, no formation, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no sight, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of mind consciousness. There is neither ignorance nor extinction of ignorance, neither old age and death nor extinction of old age and death, no suffering, no cause, no cessation, no path, no knowledge, and no attainment. With nothing to attain, a bodhisattva relies on prajna paramita, and thus the mind is without hindrance. There is no fear far beyond all inverted views. One realizes nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future rely on prajna paramita, and thereby attain unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment. Therefore know the prajna paramita as the great miraculous mantra, the great bright mantra, mantra, the incomparable mantra, which removes all suffering and is true, not false. Proclaim the prajna paramita mantra, the mantra that says gate gate para gate svaha. Page 89. Mangala Sutta. Thus have I heard that the Blessed One was staying at Savatthi, residing at the Jedda's Grove in Anatapindika's park. Then in the dark of the night, a radiant Deva illuminated all Jedda's Grove. She bowed down low before the Blessed One. Then, standing to one side, she said, Devas are concerned for happiness and ever long for peace. The same is true for humankind. What then are the highest blessings? Avoiding those of foolish ways, associating with the wise, and honoring those worthy of honor. These are the highest blessings. Living in places of suitable kinds, with the fruits of past good deeds, and guided by the rightful way. These are the highest blessings. Accomplished in learning and craftsman skills, with discipline highly trained, and speech that is true and pleasant to hear. These are the highest blessings. Providing for mother and father support, and cherishing family, ways of word that harm no being. These are the highest blessings. Giving with Dhamma in the heart, offering help to relatives and kin, acting in ways that leave no blame. These are the highest blessings. Steadfast in restraint and shunning evil ways, avoiding intoxicants that dull the mind, heedfulness in all that arises. These are the highest blessings. Respectfulness and humble ways, contentment and gratitude, and hearing the Dhamma frequently taught. These are the highest blessings. Patience and willingness to accept one's faults, seeing venerated seekers of the truth, and sharing words of the Dhamma. These are the highest blessings, the holy life lived with ardent effort, seeing for oneself the noble truths, the realization of Nibbana. These are the highest blessings. Although involved in worldly ways, unshaken the mind remains, beyond all sorrow, spotless, secure. These are the highest blessings. They who live by following this path know victory wherever they go, and every place for them is safe. These are the highest blessings. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, existing right here now. In reciting Heart of Great Perfect Wisdom Sutra and Mangala Sutta, we dedicate their merits to Mahaprajna Paramita and to the great teacher Shakyamuni Buddha, to the ancestors in our lineage who have transmitted the light of the Dharma to this place and time, including the first woman ancestor, great teacher Mahapajapati, the first ancestor in India, great teacher Mahakashapa, the first ancestor in China, great teacher Bodhidharma, the first ancestor in Japan, great teacher Ehe Dogen, the great women ancestors Zongcher and Ryonen, the first ancestor in America, great teacher Koun Taizan, to all enlightened women, to all those who have taught and manifested the truth. Page 28. May their vows be fully realized, and may we accomplish the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time. Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna Paramita. Chant of boundless compassion. Absorbing world sounds awakens the Buddha right here. The source of compassion is Buddha receives compassion, Buddha Dharma compassion. Thus the pure heart always rejoices in the light, regardless in the dark, regardless moment after moment. After time there is nothing. This Jesus Shingo. Absolute light, luminous throughout the whole universe, unfathomable excellence permeating everywhere. Whenever these devoted invocations are sent forth, they are perceived and subtly answered. We humbly request the guidance of the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. In chanting the chant of boundless compassion and Jizo Shingon, we offer the merits to all living teachers of the Dharma, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Shodo Harada Roshi, Ajahn Sumedho, and Pema Chodron. We also pray that the years of life be lengthened for Chosen Roshi and Hogen Roshi. May their vows be fully realized.
We also dedicate these merits to those who are ill or in distress, including Sarah Fletcher, Jamie Onapangia, Corey Mullet, Jason Crowley, Cindy Tetsugyo, Coleman Emery, Blaney McDonough, Allison Kemp, Naomi Tasker, Mahmoud Khalil, N.G. Gessner, Bonnie Egon, Jackie Allens, Vanessa Fernando, Patricia Testa, Rich Schleck, Salma Hussein, Morgan Henry, Rita Robinson, Andy Mahler, the Star Family, Lee Neal, Jennifer Young, Jean Shine, Mariella DiRienzo, Kathy Rice, Scott Passon, Lisa Brown, Pete Newell, Rudy, Matthew Lesner, Cliff Kessinger, Dexter Morgan Alcantar, Jean Sifan, Sing Sun, Connor Thomas, Samantha Coggins, Marina Gingrich, Donna Trost, Isabel Davis, Liz Schnell, Gavin Knox, Ed Burke, Gene Powers, Gerald Baugh, Kenda Gable, Brian Nix, Angie, Kelsey Ray Running Wolf, Kirsten Van Weeren, Linda Pike, Holly Privyet, Eden Gray, Shelley L., Carol Dance, Shelley Brown, Allison Kemp, Omer Hayes, the Levin family. Now you may silently add anyone who is ill or in distress. To all people in war zones all over the world, to all people harmed by white supremacy and systemic racism, to all people, animals, and plants harmed by the effects of climate disruption, to all refugees fleeing violence, famine, and persecution, may they be free from suffering and serene through all their ills. We also pray that those who help to guide our cities, counties, states, and nations will be endowed with clear wisdom and compassion, including President Trump. May all countries be led with clarity and kindness. We also dedicate these merits to those in the transition of death, including Pope Francis, Rob Mathers, Carrie Meyer, Nona Simons, Judy Iglesias, Lois Terry, Jocelyn Osborne, Shelley Peeler, Eric Braun, Clifford Joseph Smith, Great Aunt Marjorie, Brian Larson, Olive Corin, Sienna Katz, Ada Kepley, Paka, Nina Calabra, Deb Glazer, Justice David Souter, Braun Levy, Lulong Medlin, Dovey Landerholm, George Francis Cook, Animal Companions, Lucy Saint, Lexi Nolan. Now you may silently add anyone who has recently died. to all species made extinct by human activity, to all those who have died in human-made and natural disasters, in acts of terrorism, violence, and war, and to those who mourn their loss. May we and they be serene through these transitions.
May we aspire to turn the Dharma wheel unceasingly to free the world from every tragedy of violence, epidemic, and starvation, as we accomplish the awakened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Mahaprajna. We can now be seated for Zazen.
It's helpful to begin by noticing the experience of the body, your body, resting right here, the experience of your body in contact with your seat, touch contact, pressure, warmth. Feeling of rootedness, feeling the support of the earth underneath your body. And then opening to the upright posture of your body. From the base, the hips, lower back, up the spine. The posture of your body rooted and rising to the sky. And being with the experience of this body resting in this place. Feeling the whole body breathing, the whole body being breathed.
be set up for the ceremony. So please have a short walk outdoors or use the bathroom as you need to. And the densho bell in the hallway will call us when it's time for the ceremony, about 5 or 10 minutes.
Where are all of us sitting?
So, Kodabansho, Kawamanshi, maybe Myoyu here. Because I think or right there is good actually. Don't even want to sit there. Or wherever.
He needs to take the pictures.
Yeah, oh, that's right. So how about Dojo and Kozan?
I want some of the pictures, we want as many people behind her as possible.
Yeah.
So we might want to move.
I'm gonna ask people to populate that area.
So I'm right here,
Yes,
and then Soshi and Miyosho.
I think so.
We could take out that road.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Let's do that. Let's do it. Bansho, do you mind the tall candle in the kasaba, please? Thank you. I don't have mine.
You're wearing the wrong color and you don't have your socks? Go get them.
What?
You're wearing them for orientation. with you. Might you wanna be back in 6? No pressure. Okay, I'm not sure why I got another email from you about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, they didn't want to send it while I'm sitting there, because I know that you would respond right then, but I'm like, well, you just sent it, I'm not worried about it, it's here.
That feels
Yeah.
really weird. Yeah, that feels really inappropriate.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm gonna read the picture.
is it time?
Yeah.
Please move up one row.
Yeah, Jeff, you guys right here. And you can put me.
Eric, move up to the second row. See if we can get everybody in the first 2 rows. Sean. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. As you know, the Longview Bridge is closed, so we have a fewer number than usual. We're going to be here for the Tokudo for the ordination for Bushin, Noriko, Makita. And usually at the beginning of these things, I do a little talk on ordination, what it means. But I realize that we've got all these people who've already gone through this process, so I thought I would just let each of them say something about Tokudo ordination. And and then I'll kind of wrap things up and we'll start with the ceremony. So let's start over here with Dojin, who's been thinking about this for a couple of days. And of course, everybody else who's been ordained will be given a chance for a paragraph or so.
Paragraph?
Yeah, paragraph.
Okay. From my perspective, ordination is a opportunity to embody a vow that has been, excuse me, my heart's beating quite fast. Ordination is an opportunity, I think, to embody a vow that's been carried on for almost a few thousand years by many, many people that have come to recognize that there is a deep and meaningful way of living in this world, and they take up this vow and these vows as an ordained person to not only propel themselves into this way of life, but also to inspire and to support other people and all of life into that way of being.
Thank you. Roger?
What Dojin said. For me, my experience of ordination was stepping into and an affirmation that my life is not my own, that my life belongs to the Buddha way, belongs to the Buddha, that great vow that's moved through time, like Dojin talked about, that my life belongs to the Dharma, the teachings that lead to awakening, that point to the awakening of this life, and that my life belongs to the Sangha, belongs to the community of practitioners, and that I will serve in whatever way I'm needed. And so ordination, Tokudo, was a way to affirm that and also to step into that.
Thank you. Fedora?
Good morning. For me, I would say ordination is a mystery and a question. The question is, how do I perform as a Zen priest? What does this mean to be ordained? And that question just keeps bubbling up, and how do I respond in the most appropriate way? My husband likes to tease me every once in a while and say, I didn't think a Zen priest would do that or say that. It keeps me on the straight and narrow, and just how do I manifest this vow to be of service and to look deeply at my life and share it with everyone.
Thank you. It's from the heart, it's always creative. Close up to your mouth.
One thing that ordination brings about in me, and it seems like in other people, is the continuous reorientation about this is where I stand in the world, of this meaning being of service, treating myself and others with kindness and care and respect, and entering what's alive with as much clarity and love as is possible in any given moment. So the inward determination to just enter here, and then the outward expression of everyone, I'm here to help, and please help me, let's do this together. This is very important. It's beyond just the scope of human concerns for this lifetime, but having a vision towards all time and all dimensions, and having an attitude of bowing down in awe and respect.
Good morning to those behind me, too. Just to say something different, perhaps. Ordination asks for renunciation, and that renunciation is actually a huge release of a burden, the burden of chasing after fame and gain and profit and material wealth. And as others have said, in releasing that burden, the really finer points of being a human being are allowed to be drawn forward and made primary.
I have found that ordaining is the rarest of opportunities that allows you to always look at the feeling that comes from your heart, to see how you can give that to others and serve others. As it's been handed to us for hundreds of years.
I'm going to start by crying. Ordination is the intersection of the relative and the absolute. I was thinking in the Zendo this morning, when I look around and I think, how am I in this room with all these people, and why am I in this outfit? It is a mystery, and the ordination part is part of the gathering of all of us, all of all beings, all of throughout time, space, to this minute right here.
Chosen, do you want to say a paragraph about ordination?
I can just speak to the moment that I knew that I wanted to be ordained. Maizumi Roshi and one of his ordained would come down to San Diego to do retreats in Joko Beck's little house. And we were totally inexperienced and stumbling around trying to do service positions. But after the retreat was over, we went outside, and Roshi and the ordained person who came with him were answering questions before they left, and we were saying goodbye to them because they had to go back to ZCLA. And it was dusk, and all you could see, because they were wearing black robes, all you could see was their face and their hands in the dusk. And I realized that's what I want. I want to eliminate anything that's extra and just use what I have to spread the Dharma, the relief of suffering that the Dharma offers. Now you have to do yours.
Thank you all. The Buddha said that there are 4 categories of people that need to be actively engaged in practice in order for the Dharma, the teachings of liberation to go forth. They need to be lay women, lay men, ordained women, or ordained men. It needs to have these 4 categories of people. And each category, each of the 2 categories, the lay and ordained, serve different functions in a way. So on one hand, everybody who's not ordained really has the opportunity to practice, to realize themselves in the midst of the vicissitudes of life, to have an opportunity to practice with the gritty texture. People who are ordained have saying that we want to both support the institutions, support the container that allows people to practice, ourselves and others. We also want to have people who are devoted, whose primary focus in life is the Buddha Dharma, is liberation, is seeing that clearly. In all ages, in all traditions, there have always been priests. Every culture, and they have different flavors, different forms, different looks. But there's always been people who have dedicated their lives to the transcendental, to helping others, to being of benefit. And so, in a way, this is part of the movement forward of the Dharma. Now, with Noriko Bushin, she has been practicing for 15, 20 years. She has practiced in Sri Lanka, in Thailand, perhaps in India and England. She's been here for 2 or 3 years. And so she is a rich person who has a deep feeling for the Buddha, for the Dharma, and for the Sangha. And so we're acknowledging this trajectory that she has been on for a long time. We're trying to help and support her. She will be leaving here this summer and going to Japan. And she'll be able to bring to the Dharma centers in Japan a wealth of life experience, a wealth of practicing in different cultures, practicing being able to speak English and Japanese, being able to know how Western people and Asian people think. So I'm hoping that she will be a real, very important, pivotal person in the international Dharma scene. So we're acknowledging all of that with this ceremony. So with that introduction, those of you who are part of the procession, please. And we try to do this with a little bit of panache, so that there is. It's important, and all ceremonies are only as important as what you put into them. They have no inherent meaning unless people put their life energy into them. So part of putting life energy into it, making this a moment to pay attention to, is we have a cool procession. Please bring Bushin to the front seat. Shisa, whoever that is. Please kneel and choki.
Well, I will now do the invocation. The invocation means an invitation. So if there's anyone that could not be at this ceremony, whether because they live at a distance or because they've passed on, you can invite them to be here to witness this ceremony. And everyone can do that. Everyone can bring into their heart an invitation to others to be here and bless this ceremony. Namuji po butsu namuji po ho namuji po so namu hon shishakamuni butsu namu dai zudai kyuku namu kanze on bosa namu daijin fugen bosa namu koso joyo daishi namu taiso josai daishi namu riki daiso shi bosatsu namuji po butsu namuji po ho namuji po so namu hon shishakamuni butsu namu dai zudai kyuku namu kanze on bosa namu daijin fugen bosa namu koso joyo daishi namu taiso josai daishi namu riki daiso shi bosatsu namuji po butsu namuji po ho namuji po so namu hon shishakamuni butsu namu dai zudai kyuku namu kanze on bosa namu daijin fugen bosa namu koso joyo daishi namu taiso josai daishi namu riki daiso shi bosatsu. We've also invited Dogen Zenji and Keizan Zenji, and the Bodhisattva Kanon, and Fugen to be present.
This next section is call and response with the whole assembly. In the midst of the three treasures, with all sentient beings, let us recite the names of Buddha, being one with the past 7 Buddhas.
Being one with the past 7 Buddhas.
Being one with the original teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha.
Being one with the original teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha.
Being one with great wisdom, Manjushri Bodhisattva.
Being one with great wisdom, Manjushri Bodhisattva.
Being one with great activity, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva.
Being one with great activity, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva.
Being one with great compassion, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva.
Being one with great compassion, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva.
Being one with great vow, Kashitigarbha Bodhisattva.
Being one with great vow, Keshitidharma Bodhisattva.
Being one with great kindness, Maitreya Buddha.
Being one with great kindness, Maitreya Buddha.
Being one with the successive ancestors.
Being one with the successive ancestors. Now we do bows of gratitude. So 3 bows in the direction of your parents. This is north. This is north, west. Think of your parents' compassion to you and bow in gratitude to them. Think of your family's kindness. Think with compassion about the order they brought into your world and the effort it took to protect and sustain you. Now, as you step away from them, entering into your chosen path, sincerely wish them well and say goodbye. You will return their kindness by filling your heart and mind with respect as you enter the priesthood.
This monastery is dedicated to following Shakyamuni Buddha's vow to liberate all beings. As an indication of your willingness to undertake this eternal vow, please do 3 bows to the Buddha on the altar, the Buddha mind, which represents the Buddha mind. So 3 bows to the Buddha. The wisdom of this teaching does not come from us. We are merely conduits for the great stream of wisdom that flows. To honor the source of the teachings which are traced back 2,500 years to Shakyamuni Buddha, please do 3 fat bows to the founders of our temple, Taisa Mayazumi Roshi and Shodo Harada Roshi. And you can do those bows in the Sanzen, in the Kaisando. To be a priest in the Zen school, you must live by the precepts. In doing so, you must first acknowledge any wrongdoing, any transgressions. There's a confession gatha which has been passed down from the Buddhas. With all sincerity, recite the verse, vowing to acknowledge and purify all wrongdoings. We'll all do this together. Complete acceptance of past misdeeds, being at oneness with the present moment, and completely accepting everything that led up to it. And the willingness to make amends for past good deeds, for past transgressions. And the vow to live by the precepts leads to liberation. So we'll all do the Gatha of Atonement together. 3 times.
By the power of confession and atonement, you have purified your body and mind. from the intent to do harm. You must now embody the three treasures of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. When they become the essence of your life, you will have repaid countless debts. Let us all take refuge in the three treasures together.
This is a call and response.
Being one with the Buddha. Being one with the Buddha. May all beings embody the great way. May all beings embody the great way. Resolving to awaken to truth. Resolving to awaken to truth. Being one with Dharma. Being one with Dharma. May all beings penetrate all sutras. May all beings penetrate all sutras. Gaining wisdom deep as the ocean. Gaining wisdom deep as the ocean. Being one with Sangha. Being one with Sangha. May all beings support harmony. May all beings support harmony. Becoming free from every hindrance. Becoming free from every hindrance.
One vow.
Now you will take the three pure precepts. Because at the time of the Buddha, people only took refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. But as the years passed, the Buddha realized and the Sangha realized that that wasn't enough, that we had to be more specific. So we have the three pure precepts. Do you vow to avoid evil?
Yes.
Do you vow to do good?
Yes.
Do you vow to do good for others?
Yes.
3 vows. And then we have the 10 grave precepts, which are more specific, because human beings need more detail about how to behave. So please repeat after me, and everyone can be taking these simultaneously, silently in their heart. I vow not to kill,
I vow not to kill,
but to cherish all life.
but to cherish all lives.
1 vow. I vow not to steal,
I vow not to steal,
but to respect the belongings of others.
but to respect the belonging of others.
1 vow. I vow not to misuse sexual energy,
I vow not to misuse sexual energy,
but to be respectful in mind and body.
but to be respectful in mind and body.
I vow not to lie,
I vow not to lie,
but to speak and embody the truth.
but to speak and embody the truth.
I vow not to misuse drugs or alcohol,
I vow not to misuse drugs or alcohol,
but to keep the heart-mind clear.
but to keep the mind heart clear.
I vow not to gossip about others' errors or faults,
I vow not to gossip others' errors and faults,
but to be respectful and understanding.
but to be respectful and understanding.
I vow not to raise myself up by criticizing others,
I vow not to raise myself up
by criticizing
by
others,
criticizing others,
but to overcome my own shortcomings.
but to overcome my own shortcomings.
I vow not to withhold spiritual or material aid,
I vow not to withhold spiritual or material aid,
but to give freely when it is needed.
but give freely when it's needed.
I vow not to give vent to anger.
I vow not to give event to others, to
Vent.
give vent
Yes.
to others,
Unleash.
But to seek its source and dissolve its source.
but to seek its source and dissolve its source.
I vow not to speak ill of the three treasures,
I vow not to speak ill of three treasures,
but to cherish and uphold them.
but to cherish and uphold them.
You have now taken refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. You have taken refuge in the unfolding of the three treasures into the three pure precepts and into the 10 grave precepts. Will you maintain them well?
Yes,
Will you maintain them well?
yes,
Will you really maintain them well?
yes.
This is when we have to take 2 important photos. So I have to arrange myself. So just engasho and bow towards me. Up a little bit. Sorry, this has to be exactly right for Soto headquarters. You, great being, realizing the drifting, unsatisfactory nature of the world, leave these things behind, these worldly things behind, and enter nirvana. To do so is rare and cannot be accomplished by the ordinary mind.
Please do 3 vows. All Buddhas, when finding truth for the first time, earnestly investigated. With the fresh heart of a beginner, they become determined to embody the truth. Their resolve can no longer be broken. The merit of a beginner's mind is vast and completely fathomless. Even if Buddhas could explain it fully, such explanations can never be enough. You are now taking the Buddha for your master and making all the bodhisattvas your companions.
This last portion of hair is called the Shura. Only a Buddha can shave it off. Now I, in the place of the Buddha, am going to shave it off. Do you permit me to shave it off?
Yes.
This last portion of hair is called the Shura. Only a Buddha can cut it off. Now I am going to shave it off in the place of the Buddha. Do you allow me to cut it off?
Yes.
Only a Buddha can shave off this last portion of hair. Now, in the place of the Buddha, I am going to shave it off. Will you allow me to shave it off?
Yes.
You are changing your form to fulfill your vows, cutting off worldly attachments, living apart from history and possessions to discover and embody the truth. In this way, you will help countless others. So there are some signs and symbols that we offer to commemorate, to acknowledge, to put the stamp on this ceremony. So we start off with the zagu.
The zagu is a bowing cloth, and this was used at the time of the Buddha because they were sitting on the ground. Often the Buddha would preach under a tree, and his disciples would gather around, and they would all sit on their sitting cloths. So we represent that with the zagu, which is for bowing and for sitting.
Please do one vow with it. Stand. Yeah, open it up. Stand, open it up. Did you get to practice this? Perfect.
Next is the koromo.
Incensing is part of the offering. We offer traditionally light, sweet odors. We offer good sounds. We offer all of the, we often there's fruit or tea on the cookies. Anything as symbols of our dedication. This robe is called a koromo, and it's a traditional Soto Zen robe. Keep it from flying apart. She has a belt with a shukin.
Please do one vow.
The abbreviated form of the Buddha's robe is called the Raksun.
So the Raksu is a miniature version of the Okesa.
One bow.
And the story of the pattern of the Okesa and the Raksu is that, as a kind of an interesting story, there was a king who converted to Buddhism. And the only person that the king bowed to was their spiritual teacher. And one day, the king was out riding his elephant, and he thought he saw the Buddha in the distance. So he got down off of his elephant as he drew near, and ready to bow to this, he thought, the Buddha, but it turned out to be someone else. So the king was a bit annoyed that he had gone to the trouble of getting down off of his elephant, and he asked the Buddha to make a distinctive robe. Because in India at the time, and still to this day, there are many wandering ascetics. It's traditional in India that after you pass through the stages of life of infancy, childhood, young adulthood, marriage, family, business, then when you complete those stages, you can become an ascetic. You can enter an order, or you can become a wandering ascetic. And you can still see them today in India. So the Buddha took this request to heart, and as he was walking with Ananda, his cousin and personal attendant, they passed a rice field. And of course, in tropical countries, rice fields have different phases simultaneously existing in the cultivation of rice. So there might be a flooded field that's just been planted with small shoots, and then there would be a field with mature rice plants, and then a field that's just been harvested. So that represents our practice, that in a way we're all beginners, that we start out as little shoots, and then we grow into more mature practitioners, and then we harvest the benefits of our practice, and then we have to go back to the beginning and plunge back into this infinite Dharma and keep on practicing and unlearning and learning at the same time. And then also the there are many forms of life within a rice paddy. So there are earthworms and dragonflies and ducks and, of course, many microscopic beings that are all supported by the container of a rice field. And part of that support are the dikes, the raised places that around the rice field, where the paths go, where people can walk, that contain the water so that it doesn't flood and destroy life, including the life of the rice plants. So that represents the precepts, those raised edges of our okesa and our raksu represent the safety of the precepts, so that our natural instincts, human instincts, represented in the 10 grave precepts, won't arise and flood our life and other people's lives.
We now offer the okesa, the Buddha's robe, and we'll chant about 3 times the verse of the kesa.
You can stay.
So this okesa that I'm wearing was given to me by Maizumi Roshi. And Maizumi Roshi came to the United States to bring the Dharma, and particularly Zazen, to Westerners. And he became inspired by our enthusiasm, our dedication to doing Zazen and doing Sesshin. In fact, the 2 most important things he taught us in his lifetime were to love Zazen and to love Sesshin. And his hope was that the enthusiasm of the Westerners would be taken back to Japan and help dissolve the bureaucratic tendencies that any organization develops over the centuries, and reintroduce the enthusiasm, the dedication, the love for Zazen and Sesshin back into Japan. So I feel like I'm giving my teacher a gift through your dedication to go back and train at Toshoji and help bring back what you've learned, not only here, but also in the other countries that you've trained in. The Theravada is the foundation of all precepts. Just one last thing about our robes. It always amuses me, which is our robes trace the path of Buddhism into the West, what they call the West. So that path was from India to China, and these are Chinese robes based on the Chinese, what Chinese Buddhists wore, and then to Japan. And you're wearing, and we're all wearing, a ordained kimono, which is from Japan. And now it's moved to the West, and we all have Western underwear on. So we have the movement of Buddhism from India to China to Japan to the U.S. And this is a representation of the begging bowl that the Buddha and his disciples used. The Buddha felt that there should be an exchange, a virtuous exchange on both sides, so that lay people provided the needs, especially the food needs of the ordained, and the ordained provided the food of Dharma in return.
Now we do 3 sets of vows. So the first set of vows are life vows which are applied to all priests. And the second set is the vows of the heart, the secret vows, they call them Vajrayana. The vows that are that can't really be spoken, the vows that are the 4 words, the heart vows. And the third are the crafted vows that you personally have worked with. So we'll now do the three vows. Chosen will do the general vows, and then we'll all take a moment to do the hidden vows.
The first, I vow to walk the path of the Buddha.
I vow to walk the path of the Buddha.
Living an ethical life and becoming awakened.
Living
an ethical life and becoming awakened, no matter how long it takes. I vow to study the Dharma. Working to understand the true nature of everything. And everyone I encounter. I vow to help the Sangha. Practicing generosity with all my resources. I vow to undertake a life of simplicity. Living with few personal possessions. I vow to undertake a life of service. working to nurture people's deepest aspirations.
Working to nurture people's deep aspirations.
I vow to undertake a life of stability,
I vow to undertake the life of stability,
honoring my commitments by being patient,
by honoring my commitment by being patient,
tolerant,
tolerant,
and steadfast in practice
and steadfast in practice
and relationships.
and relationships.
I vow to be available to people
I vow to be available to people
in life transitions.
in life transitions.
Now let's all take just a moment and sit in silence. And Bushin reflects on hers, and each of us reflects on our heart vows, the wishes, the aspirations that is right at the core of our being, that is central to who we are. So please take a moment in that contemplation. So to seal these vows, do 3 bows. Now, Bushin has crafted some personal vows that she is undertaking and wants to undertake as an expression of her tokudo, as an expression of her ordination, and as the way that she wishes to go forward. So we'll do these in public, and you can repeat after me again. I vow to follow my teacher's direct guidance.
I vow to follow my teacher's direct guidance.
I vow to repay all those who have supported me
I vow to repay all those who have supported me
on this journey.
on this journey.
I vow to do Zazen at least 60 minutes a day.
I vow to do the Zen every
At least 60
at least
minutes
60
a day.
minutes every day.
I vow to stop and take deep breath and to pause throughout the day.
I vow to stop and take deep breathing pause throughout the day.
I vow to share the Dharma with those in need.
I vow to share the Dhamma with those in need.
I vow to endeavor to meet what arises.
I vow to endeavor to meet what arises
In life with a positive attitude.
in life with positive attitude.
Let that be positive. I vow to respond to life with compassion and appreciation.
I vow to respond to life with compassion and appreciation.
I vow to support and to serve the Buddhist temples and sanghas that appear in my life
I vow to support
and
and
serve.
serve Buddhist temples and Sangha that appear in my life.
I vow to manifest the essence of my name, Bushin, Buddha heart.
I vow to manifest the essence of my name, the Shin, Buddha heart.
Buddha heart. That's worth 3 bows. And then, so you don't forget them, I give you a copy of these vows. Bushin thought very carefully and long about the shape for ordination and the expression of it, so these are them.
Because all existence is marked by suffering, we begin our practice for the sake of our own suffering, compelled by our own suffering. Because all existence shares the same Buddha heart, we broaden our practice to help others. Because the Dharma is unfathomably deep, we undertake endless practice, supporting all beings to find liberation. In order to embody the precepts in this threefold manner, we affirm the 4 Bodhisattva precepts. Let us recite them together.
For great Bodhisattva vows, beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it.
Now the universe rejoices. The earth moves and flowers blossom. The Bodhisattvas ask the Buddha, what does this mean? Shakyamuni Buddha replies that a new disciple has taken the pure, great precepts of the Bodhisattvas and the fourfold vow to liberate all living beings. They have been awakened to the liberating truths of interconnectedness, impermanence, and kindness. The new priest will become a Buddha through this merit. The universal bodhisattvas, on hearing this explanation, bow, saying, if this is so, they have the same mind and heart as we do.
So part of the bowing of the Buddha is a ceremony called Juhai. So the Shuso will lead Bushin around the Zendo, and they walk. You can pick up your zagu. Pick up your zagu. Yeah. So they'll walk in a walking bow, and as they pass in front of you, please respond. Yeah. We'll work on that later. Choki one last time. After receiving these precepts and making these vows, you obtain their unbreakable merit. Your resolve to embody the Buddha Dharma is the most profound precept. To attain the mind of the Buddha and to open the pure heart of the Dharma is to keep and offer the entire world precepts. Is this not so? To whom can we offer this merit? Where do we offer it? This offering, the donor and those who receive these great things are completely empty and completely present. There is nothing to be desired. Even so, let us together with all living beings offer this highest merit to the deepest truth. I pray you will never lose faith in your vows and will always maintain them.
This,
One of the reasons she's going back actually is to help care for her parents in old age. And she'll be living and near enough in Japan that she can travel up if there are any emergencies and help take care of them. And the Dharma is full of interesting coincidences. So we had when I was doing a ceremony several years ago in LA, they had me for a photograph. For a photograph, they had me sitting next to the director of education for Soto headquarters. And he's a very sweet man and speaks English. So I said, we really love having the Japanese monks come and train with us for a month at a time. So in the past, we've hosted Japanese monks who are interested in practice in America. And I said, I would really like it if you would send a woman. And at that ceremony, one of my assistants was a young woman from Hokkaido, the northernmost island in Japan, named Shincho. And she then came and visited us here and visited other American Zen centers as a result of what I requested. When she was here, it turned out that Bushin is from Hokkaido also. And as they were talking, it turned out they went to the same high school at different times. And it turned out that Bushin's aunt goes to the temple that Shinshu's father is the priest at in this little town. And so when Bushin decided maybe she would like to go back to Japan, be ordained, and help care for her elderly parents, she consulted with Shinshu and some of the other Soto Zen priests in the area. And there is a place that she could train, a temple that she could train and help with in that town that Shinshu's father was given, but needs more priests to help out. So it's wonderful how the Dharma, when you open yourself to the Dharma, things just come forward like that.
Omedetou gozaimasu!
Omedetou. Picture time.
Yes.
Everybody's welcome to.
Yes, thanks for online practitioners' presence. This concludes our Sunday program. Please come back when you can, in person or online. We'll have photos with ordained now, and let's clean up the zendo, and let's put everything away, basically, except one row of 9 seats on both sides of the room. Thanks so much. Let's enjoy lunch after that.
To start, I'm going to get this camera too. You are ordained. You seem doubtful.